It is time for our first hot topic, and Sarasota County schools are implementing new gender diversity guidelines. The districts say that the guidelines are to help school leaders ensure a safe environment for all students. For example, it gives transgender students the pick of their preferred pronoun and also which bathroom they choose to use. But some are complaining that this decision was made without school board or public input, and it gives too much power to young students. The district says these guidelines were already the status quo for school operations. They were just meant to clarify. Boy, this seems like one of those things where I think they literally just put something in writing so that it could be official, and everybody said, whoa, 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 don't make policy without us. This isn't new.
Well,
Right.
why does the community decide where somebody goes to the bathroom?
Seriously.
You know, that seems like a very personal decision to me.
Right.
And I would imagine the individual principals and administrations of each school are happy to have this written down so that it's not a judgment call on them anymore. It
Right.
is just the policy.
Right.
If I was a parent, which I'm not, I imagine I would be upset if these things were happening before I knew about them. But in some cases, with this topic, it needs to happen outside of the parents because it needs to make sure it's safe for the student.
Yes.
And as a parent of an 18-year-old in high school right now, I can tell you that for the kids, it's very confusing and challenging for them too, because of how they have to react to all of these different friends that want to be, looked at differently.
And from the teenager point of view that I see, the kids do a better job both accepting and rolling with it than the parents.
Well, I agree
because
with that.
For
Yeah.
this generation, these choices and these decisions, they've been through this. They've watched their peers, especially as teenagers, make these choices for themselves and about themselves over these past several years.
Isn't that good news?
I
It's
think it
just
is.
accepted by the time kids get to this age.
My kids have a better attitude than most adults that I
Yeah,
see. I mean, they
absolutely.
really do. It's not a big foreign concept to them.
And,
Yeah.
and we've always said, like, when it comes to issues where there's a lot of gray, oh, who knows, what is the rule, what's not the rule, I go back to, like, it's good for each school that they don't have to make this decision
Yes.
because
Right.
then it becomes personal preference of the principal.
Right.
As
You don't want
opposed
that.
to,
Well,
nope,
and,
this is our policy.
And when the parent that isn't doing a good job being inclusive or understanding calls at the school and says, well, blah, 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 now all the leadership of the school does is hold over the document and say, this
Yeah.
Yes.
is the district policy.
And it is good to have a consistent policy. It's good for the students and the parents and of course the school leaders.
And in some cases, some of these kids, I know it's not really the issue of their policy right here, but some cases, these kids go to school and it is one of the only safe places they can go to if their homes are at odds with their issues. So, I don't know, we put so much pressure on our teachers to do
I
so
know.
much that to just have this written down is probably easy.
And I agree with Linda. I'm not sure we need to vote on where people are going to the
Right.
bathroom at this point in
Exactly.
life.
I think the rule of the world should be just be kind.
Yeah.
Take the kindest
Which
path.
kids are born knowing, it's like
Right.
we teach them otherwise as they grow up.
Yeah,
so,
very
yeah.
interesting. All right, I love this story. This is my favorite of the week. We know a bride is supposed to be the star of her own wedding day, but one woman may have taken this concept a little too far. She is admitting that she used smoothies to fatten up her bridesmaids. They were also her sisters, so that she would look the hottest on her wedding day. She said she made a special drink every morning for them, but they never knew it was designed to make them gain weight. The bride, or should we say Bridezilla, always felt a little bit plain Jane in comparison to her sisters, and for once she wanted to shine. She also had them wear neon yellow dresses, claiming she wanted them to look like sunshine. But really, she was trying to wash out the fair-skinned blondes. She admits to feeling slightly guilty when she looks at her wedding photos.
I should hope so. You never make yourself look good by trying to make somebody else look bad. It doesn't work that way.
They call that karma, and you know what she is.
This is
That's all I'm going to
right
say.
out of Mean Girls. Remember where she tries to
Oh.
fatten up the girl
Yes.
to get back at her? Like, that's how angry would you be if somebody had been tricking
And
you
it
for
worked.
this long?
She admitted by the final fitting that they were all had roles and dress issues.
She might look good in her wedding photos, but she's not gonna have anybody to look at the photos
Well,
with after
if that was really her, and we're talking about it all over the country, so yeah.
Yeah,
look
no,
at
the
yourself
secret is
now.
out. She definitely admitted the secret.
Sounds like there's a movie script in that someplace.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
and what if you're the guy and you just found out you married Psycho Girl here? I mean, there's a little bit of a red flag going there.
That's a big
Yeah,
red
what is
flag.
the after story right now?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm dying to know, though, because the whole thing is quite entertaining to me. So do you talk with your coworkers about how much money each of you makes? Odds are the answer is no. But a Harvard Business School study said that 80% of us would actually be willing to pay money to stop an email that contained our salary information. Why? Researchers found that we actually undervalue our own work. And if salaries were more open, it would actually benefit workers. Some suggest an anonymity movement to reveal salaries in a workplace, kind of like #TimesUp for salary transparency. Why are we so concerned about knowing that?
I loved it when I was in after the union, and every market I went into, there was a list of the salaries. So each job had a designated salary that you couldn't go below. So at least you knew everybody else wasn't making more money.
Yeah, did it top out too based on experience?
No, it did not top out.
Well, see, and there's where it gets a little tricky. You know, I'm happy to know that you're not being lowballed, but I would like to know what the upper level is so that I can get some.
There have been times in my life where I have not wanted people to know my salary because I didn't want them to know I was making more, or because I was embarrassed and didn't want them to know that I was not making very much. Yes, I think it's a private thing. I think for the job, it should have a range. But every once in a while, let's be honest, there is that one person or those couple people where you're like, it's worth it to pay more to have that person, and that should be private, I think. And
then it'll get to be a real problem because people will be fighting over this. What, you're making more than me? I work harder than you.
Right.
So people will be arguing about it.
Yeah, someone's going to be upset. Someone that you work with, whether it's you or another person's going to be angry about a salary comparison.
I mean, I see it where, you know, there is a real important part of it is the anonymity. I do think that that's important because you've got people that have been there that just started, people that have been there for years. You know, with us having employees that are with us 20, 25 years, they do want to keep it private, and it probably should be.
Yeah, I like the anonymity part, but I do like knowing that a job fits in this bucket of money, and this job fits in this bucket of money. Because how else can anybody know what they're working for?
Yeah, and no one wants someone's pity. You know, like if they find out that you're not making what people expect you would, you don't want people to look at you that way.
Well, Michael, I would say if they're still there after 25 years, they must like what they're getting.
Yeah, you're doing an okay job keeping them happy. That's very true. All right, well, here's a sweet story to help us get in the weekend kind of mood. A kindergarten class in Tennessee wanted to give a birthday surprise to their custodian on his 60th birthday. James is hearing impaired, so the class all learned how to sign happy birthday to him with sign language. James has worked at Hickerson Elementary since 1991. Aww.
What a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing, and that's the beauty of young kids, right? They just want to make somebody happy, no judging.
And they've been taught it's a good thing to make somebody happy.
Yeah, whenever someone goes above and beyond to do something special for someone, like they all learned to sign for him, that's what touches people, I think. It's not what you spend. It's what you do.
Right.
Especially somebody that's challenged and somebody that's been there that long. That's really impressive.
And doing the work that not everybody would want to do. So it's nice to see the young kids appreciating that. Exactly, I agree.